So yeah, my name is Jerry Caupain. I work for a company called KPN. So KPN is the largest telco and IT service provider in the Netherlands. So before I get into the specifics of this talk, a little bit about me. So I've been working for this impressive company for about 20 years now, and I've been involved in different types of roles. I actually started as a sysadmin, managing various operating systems and middleware, and after that I did some work as a consultant. So this is really awkward. I don't see all of my notes. Maybe that's for later. Let me see if I can adjust that a little bit. Okay. Okay. So I used to be a sysadmin, then started working as a technical consultant, managing various operating systems and large environments for our large accounts. That's professionally. Personally, I'm really passionate about music. I love playing around with audio recording and music production, stuff like that. So music has always been a really big part of my really big hobby of mine. So about this complexity. So my talk is about implementing Puppet in a complex enterprise. But yeah, so what does complexity even mean? Is it the huge number of nodes that you need to manage? Yeah. So last year we had Martin Jackson of Walmart, and he had a talk about taming the brownfield. And they had like tens of thousands of nodes to manage. So that could be quite difficult. For others, it could be the diverse nature of the stuff that you need to manage, or organizational complexity, or culture, or all of the above. So basically, what I'll try to do is, for the next half an hour, give or take, is provide you with some context about the company, what it is that we are trying to achieve. And the role that Puppet plays in this automation journey. So that may give you the impression that we are done, but yeah, we're actually after 2 years, we're just getting started. So if you look at KPN, if you look at society, we've rapidly become accustomed to being online, whether that be for shopping or just or working in the cloud, or getting the app that you need, or online banking. We are in contact with anyone that we want, in any place, in any time, and it's like a brand new world with like infinite possibilities. So KPN provides the connection in that society, like with secure, fast, and reliable. So we believe in a society in which communication technology makes life better and easier. And we really want to be at the center of that vision. Not just for the people that have access to technology, but especially for the ones that don't have access to it, or are not able to anymore. So we also specifically focus on the people that have like mental disabilities, or children that are chronically ill. So we believe that staying in contact is one of the primary needs that everybody has. So if you look at the short timeline of the company, so KPN has a long history of connecting people and businesses. So the history that started in 1852 with the telegraph and having a nationwide telephone network, all manually. In 1962, we transferred the last environment to a fully automated nationwide network. Switzerland beat us to it. They were the first country to have a fully automated nationwide network. So that was still government owned. After that, KPN, the company got privatized, and with the acquisition of Getronics, we were able to combine telco services and IT services delivered, and we are pretty unique in the Netherlands. And then the screen got black. And then it's back again. So we are very committed to our vision of applying technology to make life better. And we make this, to make this vision a reality, we constantly have to look beyond the current technologies and keep on innovating, right? So we recently published a book about the 13 technology trends that we feel will have the most impact on society. Of course, that is not carved in stone. So this is constantly moving as new trends emerge, so we apply frequent updates to this publication. So KPN really wants to be a leader in this space and not just follow. So if you look at 2020, some of these technologies are already here, and others are in the near future. Some technologies need other technologies in order to be successful. As an example, we are developing a platform as a service that increases developer productivity and automates the complete life cycle of applications. And all that is running on Docker containers. So innovation is a really, really big part of the company strategy. Our previous strategy was about to strengthen, simplify, and grow. So we've invested a lot in our networks and simplified our processes to further grow our business. But in order to stay ahead of the competition, we really had to take it to the next level. So our strategy for the coming years is to simplify, grow, and innovate. So a very important concept a very important direction for us is the concept of treating infrastructure as code. So we believe that this will help us and our customers innovate faster. And Puppet really plays a big part in that strategy. So from an architecture perspective, we are working towards a composable and converged architecture in which telco and IT servers are combined. So where do we position Puppet? So if you look at our architecture, if you look at the infrastructure domain, we distinguish between platforms running on platform and Spark platforms and generic x86 platforms, providing computer storage and network resources. So we provide IT services to the corporate market, and telco service to both the corporate market and the consumer market. So if you look at the IT services that we provide, it's like we have several different service delivery models ranging from highly customized to highly standardized services. So we provide hosting services or cloud services based on VMware, or cloud services based on Microsoft technology. And the customer also has the possibility of acquiring services from public clouds like AWS, Azure, or SoftLayer. So looking at on the telco side, we really want to provide network functions based on OpenStack. And every platform exposes an API for management purposes. So this is where those two domains are starting to get a little bit combined. This is a little bit about a possible future of having cloud-native applications running on OpenStack combined with the telco network NFV functions. That's a possible future, but we're not there yet. So from our perspective, what we do is it shouldn't matter on which platform the customer wants to run its service. So we want to, based on the business rules or the requirements of the customer, we really want to orchestrate the resources across those platforms, and we want to manage the workload on top of those platforms using Puppet. And we want to keep everything in version control. So basically what we've done is we've separated the workloads from the infrastructure. That way we are able to provide managed services in a more cloud-agnostic way. So it shouldn't really matter for us if on which platform it runs. We can apply the same model to managing the workload. So I work for a division called Business Operations, and Business Operations really really offers managed services, IT services to medium to large enterprises, and we manage the vital IT services in various different of companies in various different sectors. So a good example of this is the Dutch railways. So in a sense, you could say that KPN helps take care of the Netherlands. But we had some difficulties being very effective in managing the IT services for our customers. So that's what really initially kicked off the whole project of implementing Puppet, among other tools. And we really needed to improve our services. So instead of having all these discussions with the customer about virtual machines not being delivered on time or outages, we really want to have customers that are like this guy. So, but of course, in order to be successful, just another tool, just another technology is not enough, right? So the services that we provide must add value to help the customer further. So we look at automation. We apply automation to managed operations, but also apply data analytics in order to enhance those operations, or look at our organization in order to effectively effectively be able to adapt to the customer's needs. So these are just some of our goals, and basically what our goal is, the strategy of the company is, or the vision of the company is, we want to be the best service provider in the Netherlands. So some of our goals, some of the things that we wanted to achieve was we wanted to standardize and automate everything. And one really large, big part that we had to do was we had to reshore our managed operations. To achieve maximum visibility, we wanted to have our process more auditable. We really wanted to increase the speed of delivery. So that's a lot of things that we had to do. I mean, that's going to be a lot of hard work, right? But there are no excuses. You still have to do the work. So we set our goals, and so he's scary. He's even scarier than on my laptop. So doing nothing wasn't really an option. So, but there were some challenges. Lack of standardization was probably one of the biggest ones. Other challenges that we faced was they had a really manual way of doing things in a siloed organization. We don't have the luxury of standardizing, so we have a really heterogeneous landscape that has like everything. So our business used to come from outsourcing, and so that means that we're gonna run every version of every platform. So it's really hard to standardize. And we looked at managing Windows with Puppet, and we saw that was also gonna be a big challenge. And taming the brownfield. So all these challenges in different areas And I didn't even mention that people really don't like the change. If you present, it's like people really want to do it like they are used to doing it. So that's really, managing change is one of the hardest things that you have to do. So what we are trying, when we started the project, the first thing we did was we really wanted to shift the responsibilities. So we now have teams that are fully responsible of the service that they deliver. Instead of having all these silos, we make one team fully responsible. They manage the complete stack, and they have an agile way of working based on infrastructure as code. And we have different teams that ultimately facilitate the customer teams in delivering value to the customer. So we have infrastructure teams that have to make sure that the infrastructure is still running. We have a tooling team that is able to takes care of the availability of our tooling landscape, and we have a module development team that's really focused on developing all the Puppet modules. And we really want to manage this like a community. So we have assigned a community lead that constantly monitors and gets the feedback from the whole organization and enforces, or not enforces. He really gets feedback from about the way of working and the standards, and offers guidance to all the teams. He also organizes meetups. Puppet has been really helpful in those meetups, and they often attend and provide some roadmap information, the future direction of Puppet. So that's really been great. So big thank you to Puppet for that. So the community lead is really the soft link between all those teams, and they all help to make the customer teams deliver the value. There's one problem with this model, is that it really doesn't scale. So if you have a lot of customer teams and one module development team that has to take care of all the module development, that's really not going to work. So basically this is the first phase of this model. Excuse me. This is the first phase, and we want to centralize module development in order to become more experienced with it. After we are more mature in developing modules, we really want to have the customer teams develop all the modules themselves. So looking at this picture is like the core toolbox for the customer teams in order to manage the automate the complete chain of delivery for the customer. Now, most of the tools will be familiar. I'll go over each one of those tools in the coming slides. So basically, what this is our Puppet ecosystem, if you will. On the right, you have those teams, or on the left, you have those teams. The teams, and they interact with the environment through GitHub. So GitHub will trigger automatic builds for image management, or automated testing, or configuration management, and last but not least, deliver all the information to a data lake to provide feedback to the customer teams. So looking at Puppet, why did we choose Puppet? So there are some obvious reasons for choosing Puppet, like the broad platform support, or the flexibility that you have, the support, or the ops friendliness. But one thing that we really needed was we really needed to enforce a desired state. Because I mentioned before that we wanted the whole process of managing change to be auditable. Desired state will let you do that. In combination with GitHub Enterprise, the whole audit trail of defining the configuration and having a tool that enforces the configuration and reporting when things have to be corrected, that really adds value. So we already had a lot of experience with using Puppet to manage Linux systems. And we really needed a generic approach in order to make this process repeatable across the organization. Going to be that we didn't want to have one team able to deliver all this value because they were fully running on Linux, and another team not being able because they are on Windows, and we do things exactly this in a different way. So in the end, we say that managing an operating system is, well, it's really not that difficult, not that specific. I mean, there are some specific things that you have to do on Windows with Windows tooling, but in a generic way, it's like managing Unix, Linux, or Windows shouldn't differ that much. So what we do is we give every team their own puppet master, managing Windows, Linux, and Unix. When we get there, as you know, Puppet is not a patch management or package management solution. So we really need to integrate that with the standard solutions for each platform. We have Windows Server update services, and we use Chocolatey for package management and Satellite for the Linux environment. So what that means, we're now able, if you look at this picture, if you were able to start a VM install a VM using vRealize, all these different platforms. vRealize will configure the agent and set some custom facts. A base profile will be applied, and that will configure networking, monitoring, backup software, compliance modules, time services. All this is available for both Linux and Windows platforms. And after that, we're able to apply some custom profiles like SQL Server or Oracle or Tomcat. See if I missed anything. So what we really need for this for management of our landscape is that the modules that we apply in our data center, they need to be we need to apply them in a first time right kind of manner. If we're not how you say that, downtime really isn't an option for us. So testing is extremely important. We need stability, predictability on multi-platforms. So we've developed this continuous integration pipeline using Jenkins, Beaker, VM Pooler, and vSphere. So what happens is a change in version control or a periodic trigger. We do this nightly. Will trigger a Jenkins to do a syntax check that's automated. We check the style of the style in which the code was written. We do some unit tests, and we do some acceptance testing. So basically, what we're doing is we have Jenkins connect to Beaker and request a VM from VM Pooler. So VM Pooler will have a warm pool of VMs for each and every platform that we have. So that will increase the speed. It will limit the waiting time for the developer. If the developer makes a change, we really want to have them get instant feedback on the change that they have done. So that's all automated, and the actions that are manual is okay when you go through all these tests and there are no failures, you have to manually merge the code and apply the module to the test environment, and after that to the production environment. So the developer will constantly get feedback and be notified by mail or through HipChat. So look at that, what this means for a developer. A developer will have to add, when a developer writes a module, they have to add it to the pipeline, so they have to specify a few parameters, like is it Linux or Windows or both. Do you want to run syntax check or unit tests? So which test do you want to run? Which operating systems? And how do you wish to get notified? So there's really a DSL kind of language in order to get the module added to the pipeline. So that's really not that. It really doesn't look that difficult. A lot of time and effort has gone into developing this platform. So the guys that created this had this talk this morning about premium quality modules. Yeah, so you can when the live streams are available, you can check this out. When the recording is available, you can check it out. It's really interesting work that they have done. So GitHub Enterprise. So we keep everything in version control. So why did we choose GitHub Enterprise? So we didn't want to put too much effort in managing a version control system. We just needed a solution that worked out of the box. And well, it doesn't really work out of the box, but you have low management overhead. That's for sure. At least that's what we've seen. And what another benefit that we had was that we were able to translate the whole model that we have for those customer teams and the development teams or infrastructure teams. We were able to translate that model into GitHub Enterprise. So the combination so all this is great, but you need some place where it all comes together, right? So we use Splunk as a data lake. So in this picture, you see that all the tooling that's directly related to Puppet is connected to Splunk. Imagine taking this a little step further. Imagine combining not only these sources, but also application data or monitoring data or infrastructure data. So we've never really had this much insight, and we collect all these metrics. We collect metrics from the nodes, the platforms, the modules, module versions, Puppet info. Really, what we do is we transfer all the data that is in the Puppet DB is transferred to the data lake, to Splunk. And all this is real time for the Puppet 4 deployment. After a Puppet run, the data gets added to the Puppet DB and also added to the data lake. So we have real-time troubleshooting. So what are the benefits? Did we achieve our goals? Yes, we did, more or less. We made big steps in auditability. So the fact that we are able to enforce a desired state that makes our process completely auditable. So the combination of Puppet and GitHub Enterprise. And because we are able to apply this to all of our operating systems, we're taking big step in order for customers to becoming PCI DSS compliant. So the fact that you are able to track changes and report on those changes really benefits. So we have a very active and growing community within KPN. And we see huge benefits with our operational intelligence department for troubleshooting outages. So those are just some of the highlights, but there's the list just goes on. There are still some challenges. You see that adoption is still quite slow. The way we feel is that Puppet really has a steep learning curve. It's really it's not a simple tool to manage. And for us to be doing this in a brownfield is still not we're still not used to doing this in a brownfield situation because every customer is different. And we're really, we manage these critical infrastructures, so outages are really, really a problem. So in our current state, we have roughly 4,000 nodes and counting. We have a lot of Puppet masters, and we develop our modules. Most of the modules we developed ourselves. We use modules from the Forge. We onboarded roughly 22 teams now. Trained a lot of people. So you would say that KPN has all these experts in Puppet by now. But actually, we trained a lot of people, and the right thing to do is, after training, really apply that knowledge. So we see that too much time has gone past the training, between the training and applying the knowledge. So that's something that we need to do better. Start with Greenfield first, like showing this really integrated tool set. If you are able to show this in a Greenfield setup, that will give confidence for doing this in a brownfield. So people will know that they're using Puppet. Using Puppet will really add value. And now it's an agile process in which, we just have to see where it goes. So looking at our roadmap, we still have a lot of things that we want to do. We still haven't touched on application orchestration or DSC integration or Docker integration. We still want to improve the Splunk integration. So there's a lot we still have to do, and we still have to keep on innovating. So are we done with the project? No, we're actually just getting started, but we've laid a good foundation for really improving this and add value to the customer. So a big thank you to the team at KPN that really made this happen. I see that we still have 4 minutes for questions. So if anybody has any questions. Great, then we're done. Thank you.